It's 12 Sports coverage of boys high school basketball. And tonight we have Maranatha Christian Academy hosting Providence Academy of Plymouth. Hi, welcome everybody. Along with Ryan Iverson, I'm Joe Moline. And tonight it's a matchup between two non-conference opponents. Two programs maybe in different positions right now, with the home team Maranatha being a Class A power on the rise. Last year, third place finish overall. 2 years ago, a state runner-up. Providence Academy, on the other hand, they're really trying to build the program. Last year, their first winning season in program history, looking to improve on that.
Well, and we talked to Ariel McDonald, a Channel 12 sports person like ourselves, also the assistant coach for Providence. And this is one of the building blocks, is challenging their team early, getting a tough schedule on the road against Maranatha Academy. It doesn't get any harder than that for these guys. And contrasting styles too, a lot of difference as far as how they score the basketball, but it's going to be an early season test for Providence Academy. It should be a really exciting game too, Joe. For
Maranatha, we have a prolific scorer. He scored over 1,000 points last year in December as a junior, Jeremiah Hansen. And this year he's pouring it on again, averaging 25 points per game in his first 3 games against a team that struggles to score the basketball.
Well, and you're right. And if you've recognized that name Hansen, it's because there's been a plethora of them through Maranatha Christian Academy. But 25 points a game, he can do it in a variety of ways, inside out. He's got great footwork, great ball skills, Joe. He just has a knack to score the basketball, and he's really fun to watch. And they're averaging over 80 points a game versus Providence Academy averaging just under 50 points a game. So something's going to have to give and take here tonight.
Well, you're from Eden Prairie, so you haven't been an underdog much your life. But if you're Providence Academy here tonight, what do you have to do as the underdog coming in on the road against Maranatha?
I think they got to try to keep this game, Joe, into the 50s or the 60s. And they got to have someone step up. They need multiple players in double figures. They only have one player averaging in double figures. So if they can get 2 or 3 guys around that 15-point mark, take care of the basketball. They've had a lot of turnovers early on the road here, especially in a hostile environment. Securing the basketball, executing. Coach Ariel McDonald, the assistant coach, he said they can play. They make plays in practice. It's just got to transition into the game. So if they can execute, take care of the basketball, keep that game in the 50s or 60s, they're going to have a good shot to win tonight.
All right, it should be a good one. It's Maranatha and Providence Academy, 2 private schools dueling it out here in the northwest suburbs, and we tip it off next on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to Maranatha Christian Academy. We get ready to tip it off here between the visiting Lions and the host Mustangs as they announce their starting lineup. And there's a look at the senior Jeremiah Hansen, leading scorer for the Mustangs. The Mustangs, number 3 team in the state of Minnesota in Class A. Rushford Peterson ranked number 2 right now. Minneapolis North, a Class A team, now ranked number 1. There's some notes, 2-0 at home this season. Averaging 85 points per game and 57 points against.
Why couldn't Minneapolis North be in Class 1A when I was back in high school? I had to deal with Khalid El-Amin and those great Minneapolis North teams.
Washington. Yeah, good teams back in the Minneapolis North. Of course, you were just in the way of one of the great high school basketball dynasties in the state history.
Well, and you take a look right there, that's going to be the key. Providence, 50.5 points per game. They're only giving up 42.3, so they do play great defense as well, Joe, but I think something's going to have to give. I think they're going to have to find a way to score and even just slow the game down a little bit. Take care of the ball. Don't give up easy baskets. Try to contain as best they can. Obviously, a lot easier said than done, but Jeremiah Hansen can score in such a variety of different ways. Try to slow him down, have an awareness on him, make someone else step up and beat you. That's what my philosophy always was. You take away the other team's best player, make someone else step up and have a great game to give yourself a chance to win. And a good atmosphere, good crowd. Both these teams are very familiar with each other. There's a lot of energy in this building. It's a nice gym. Not very big, Joe, but it's loud in here. So it feels like it's a really big game. It's fun to be a part of.
Sebastian Brown, number 44, will tip it off for Providence Academy against 33, Jeremiah Hansen for MCA. And Brown will win that first matchup between he and Hansen, as Providence Academy gets the first possession here. Dominic Miller plays it over to the wing. Now it's Brown catching it up top. One pass inside, a quick turnaround, and it's an air ball on the miss inside from Matt Richardson.
Yeah, and it was a nice cut. They ran a baseline screen. Richardson just got to be a little bit stronger with that ball. Take that contact, try to get to the free throw line.
Cameron Munson lost it on the one end, and then on the near side, Riley Lowe missed his left-handed layup, and Maranatha grabbed the defensive rebound, but they stepped out of bounds on the baseline, giving Providence Academy the possession back.
Well, those are, and there you take a look at Providence head coach Lamar Deturk, who's done a great job building this program. Very smart basketball guy, and he's got to be pleased. The two shots his team has got so far, good looks at the basket. They just got to finish those.
There's a jump shot from just inside the arc, a two-pointer made on the far side by Dominic Miller. Miller has the first points of the ball game, giving the Lions a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and you can see good perimeter ball movement right there, and I like how Miller caught that. He was ready to shoot, no hesitation. That was one of the things Providence Academy this year, they've been hesitant on the offensive end, and that time Dominic caught that. He's averaging just under 8 points a game, so he can score, and that was a great first start, and it's always nice to get that first basket to go on the road.
DeMario Armstrong finds his own shot and gets the lefty leaner in the lane, and it's tied up at 2.
He's only 6 foot, he's a junior, but he's big and strong. You could see him muscle his way in there. And then I always like when big, strong guards have nice touch like that too, and able to float it in there to answer.
Sebastian Brown gives it off to Colesrud. Dominic Miller comes back to get it to Lowe. Good hands defensively. Cameron Munson getting his hands in on the ball. And a cut right there and a turnover on the Lions, as Brown was not able to handle that feed.
There's Coach Jeffrey Wall, who's, again, who built this into a state power for Class A. He's had a lot of great talent, but he does a really nice job of developing that talent. And I like what the Mustangs are doing defensively. Man-to-man defense, a lot of pressure, and really forcing Providence Academy to play everything along the perimeter.
Offensive rebound and a three-point play opportunity. As putting it home there was Brock Burquist by crashing the boards.
You can see a nice strong move by Cameron Munson there, and that, a lot of times what'll happen, you go strong, you may not make that, but you draw the other defenders, and there's no weak side rebounder there defensively, and Munson did a nice job there, and then you can see Burquist fills in on the weak side, and he finishes strong. That's what you got to do. Take that contact, get the contact, finish the play, and he does for a three-point play.
Burquist completes the three-point play, giving Maranatha its first lead of the game, 5-2. Jack Colesrud works it back to the opposite side now. Sebastian Brown on the wing. Brown, a big player for Providence Academy, but a lot of his touches have come out past the three-point line. Dominic Miller now trying to get it inside to Brown. A nice defense. Taking that one away was Cameron Munson. And the other way comes Maranatha. Wild shot from Armstrong. Here comes the Lions, and once again, Brown can't handle the bounce pass, and it's a turnover on the Lions.
Yeah, and that's a situation when you got a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-1 coming down on one end. I like the play. It was the right move by Dominic Miller. That's a play that, Parker Lowe, he's got to be able to get his hands on that and be able to finish that. And also Sebastian Brown, he's running hard, he's playing physical, but you can see too, Joe, Providence Academy on the offensive end, everything's around the perimeter. They're not getting any penetration, no attacking going to the basket, and that's something they're gonna have to do.
Gavin Blumberg checks in the game at the forward spot for Providence Academy, and now it's a turnover on MCA.
Yeah, and you can see Hansen, who can drive. He's got a nice mid-range game, excellent defense right there, and able to knock it out and win off of a Mustang player at the end. But that was solid defense. Not an easy task to play man-to-man defense against Jeremiah Hansen.
On the rotation, the ball got deflected, but the Lions maintained control. Now a shot from the baseline. Nothing but net from Colesrud as he knocks down his first field goal of the game.
You know, and that play was made, Colesrud knocked it down, but that play was made because there was some dribble penetration. The first time we've seen that tonight. And that's what you do against an aggressive man-to-man defense. You got to have good ball rotation, back doors. You got to get penetration, draw the defense into you, and that's how you get open looks for your teammates. That was excellent offense right there by Providence Academy.
Berquist missed on the opposite end. Now Providence Academy offensively driving and drawing the foul is Richardson. He'll get 2 shots at the line after the nice, powerful move.
And again, that's what you go strong man-to-man. And we saw this, last week in our game, in our girls basketball game. You go strong, you force the referees, Joe, to make a call. More often than not, they're going to reward you for being aggressive. You know, and the Mustangs are tall, big, physical defenders. They're going to try to block you. You draw that contact, get to the free throw line. There's no better way to get your confidence up than knocking a few free throws down. And you can see that. I mean, Cameron Munson came over, and anytime that arm goes down, they're going to usually call that. Even though it looked like a pretty clean block, it's an easy call for the officials to make.
Unable to hit any of his free throws, but he makes up for it by getting the offensive rebound and the putback. Richardson 0 from 2 from the line, but gets the field goal to go.
He said, these are too easy. I'd rather miss, grab my own rebound, and flick in a great athletic shot. Speaking of athletic shots, how about Demario Armstrong? His second bucket of the game. You can see he's been able to get to the basket at will to start this ball game. Really athletic, nice touch around the basket.
Riley Lowe, we haven't seen a bucket from him for Providence Academy. Leading scorers, the Mustangs lead by 1 right now. This is Dominic Miller, gives it off now. Richardson looking to go inside to Blumberg. Blumberg, the turnaround, and he gets the friendly roll on the road.
I like Gavin Blumberg. He's 6'4", he's only a sophomore, but he's a big kid. He's about 230 pounds, strong kid. He used his body really well down there. Created some separation space, able to get the shot off. Excellent move.
Now a three-pointer by Armstrong. Rebound sitting there. Armstrong gets dirty on the floor, knocks it loose, but eventually the Lions do come away with it. Getting that loose ball was Colesrud.
Well, you just love to see the effort. You know, in a Tuesday night in December, it's cold outside. Early in the year, it's a non-conference game, but these kids are putting forth effort. You love to see them diving on the floor. Excellent effort by both teams.
Miller eyes up a three-pointer, decides to drive instead. Then the kick to Blumberg. Nice finish off the glass.
Oh, Dominic Miller has been the playmaker here so far. We've seen him get to the basket. That time he drew the defender. He dropped it off, and what I loved is Blumberg caught it with his hands ready to score. Excellent offense.
Now we see Munson drive and try to finish in the left. That foul is going to be called on the ground. Let's take a look at that bucket from Providence Academy.
Yeah, and look at that. Miller does a great job of knowing where his teammate is. And so often, too, Joe, you see big guys, they almost get surprised when they catch the ball down low. And by the time they gather, try to score, it's too late. The defense has already collapsed. That time, Blumberg caught it, ready, scored it immediately before the defense could get to him. Excellent offense.
Foul is on Colesrud. He heads to the bench, and on the inbound play, Maranatha Christian Academy misses their bucket by Jake Mayan. And the Lions, with a three-point lead, come down to try to add to it. Blumberg with 4 points off the bench for Providence Academy. The story here in the first 5.5 minutes. Now he catches it deep in the paint, makes a nice up and under move, has nowhere to go. He either got pushed or he traveled, but they're going to call the push, probably the right call.
Yeah, they're going to get Jake Mayan, number 21 for Maranatha, getting him on the push. And you can see what I like. Blumberg's got the size there. You see how, Joe, he's going away from the basket. He's got to be able to use his body and his size and strength of going towards get his momentum going at the basket. He was bailed out there by some contact with the body, but I like that they're going inside out offensively.
Drive and kick into the corner. And getting it right back inside, kicking it right back out there was Richardson. Now it works its way back around to the point guard, Dominic Miller, who will set up shop. Gives it off to Richardson. Blumberg cutting, now kicking to the corner. And that shot a little bit too long from the corner pocket from John Hedjun. And the MCA comes away with the defensive board. Haven't seen Jeremiah Hansen get on the board yet. Now he catches it. Quick trigger from three. Can't get the roll. And it's one and done for MCA.
Well, in Providence Academy, they're playing a 2-3 zone. They're trying to force those perimeter shots. And Jeremiah Hansen, you can see, he's 6'4". You can see how quick he can get his shot off. He's got a very quick release. And that time just couldn't get it to fall. Stick with Providence Academy here. You know, I've been really impressed with the Mustangs' man-to-man defense as far as their intensity, their pressure, you know, their ball pressure. But I've also been impressed. Providence Academy has been really unselfish. They've been very patient. They're not forcing stuff. They're kind of taking what the defense gives them. It's been a really nice offense. And look at the big fella going to work. Bloomberg, his third basket already as he's checked in off the bench. That was beautiful as he came to his left, comes back over his left shoulder with his right hand. Excellent post move.
Blumberg has 6 points tonight. He has 13 this season in 4 games. Off to a nice start as Hansen misses the three-pointer once again. Second straight trip with a missed three-pointer from Jeremiah Hansen. Providence Academy, their biggest lead of 5 points right now. Looking to add to it, Dominic Miller on the drive. Kicks it out to Lowe. The Lions have showed great patience here tonight. Now Blumberg put it on the deck and got it knocked away there by Munson. We've seen Munson play pretty good interior defense. He's got good hands for a defender.
Well, he does, and that time I think Gavin Blumberg was a little bit further away from the basket than they'd like him. He can operate when he's on that block and can make a 1-2 dribble move. That time he was forced out, which was excellent defense.
When you catch the ball there, you want your big man just to, you know, kick it out and repost, right?
Repost, get better position. When he's got to put it on the floor 3 or 4 times, that's not a good thing.
Catch and shoot three-pointer from Lowe, missed long.
I thought you were going to go low, missing high. You know, we could have had a little oxymoron there. You know, it was always tough, too, as a scorer, Joe. Your first shot coming off on the unbalanced fadeaway three-pointer. You know, you want your first shot.
That's a heat check shot, not a first basket of the game
exactly.
shot.
You want to get that first shot, either a layup or a, you know, in rhythm, nice wide open look. And then you can get your confidence. Oh, beautiful step move through. Wow, what a move.
Another bucket from the bench of Providence Academy as that's Isaiah Counts getting in the scoring
He's
mix.
making it count. That was a heck of a move in the post as he withered through and snuck up and under too. Just a great move.
Jeremiah Hansen's on the board as the Mustangs were able to get an offensive rebound and then a nice pass inside, putting their leading scorer in the score sheet. Now Mustangs cut that lead back to 5.
Yeah, and that was Joe Jacobson who got the offensive rebound and a beautiful find to his teammate underneath. He passed him open. And it's another excellent offensive move.
Colesrud gets his second basket. Here comes the Mustangs. Don't fall asleep on them. Jake Mayen gets the layup on the fast break basket.
And if I'm Providence Academy, I'm starting to think about the pace of the game here. Starting to pick up. You know, when they score, they got to get back, get their defense set because this Mustang team is trying to score in a hurry.
Works its way around to the weak side, back to the near side to Henjun. From the wing, puts the ball on the deck. Found an open shooter, but decided not to pull the trigger. And Blumberg tried to keep that ball alive, but it's going to go to Maranatha.
Yeah, and he's frustrated. He knows he missed a shot there that was very makeable. But I'll tell you, the other thing, when this Providence Academy, they're going 4, 5, 6 passes, you know, around the perimeter. But the other thing it does, it just slows the pace down. It keeps Maranatha, you know, away from having the ball on the offensive side. And sometimes that can be your best defense too, is a good deliberate offense.
Little different defensive look, still a zone look, but that one appeared to be more of a kind of a 2-1-2 look with a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, they're extending that half court, and I like that move. That's a great idea. And again, it just slows a good offensive team, gets them out of rhythm when you change your defenses up.
So there they're back into that 2-3, and arm Armstrong gets the leaner, but they're going to say offensive foul, no bucket. And setting up shop there defensively was Sebastian Brown.
Yeah, and look at Sebastian. That's just a heck of a play. And you can see they were in a 2-3 zone, and the seas parted, and it opened up for Demario Armstrong, who we've seen make a number of moves like that. And he actually made that bucket, but just a gutsy play by Sebastian Brown. You love to see your guys step in and take a charge. Believe me from experience, it hurts, it doesn't feel good, but nothing can jumpstart your team like taking a charge.
And it seems to be that it's the best defense now. I mean, the referees really are rewarding defenders for getting planted, taking the charge. It seems to be the best. You know, you're just not going to block that many shots. There's a couple of guys around that can block shots, but the average basketball defender is better off trying to get that charge.
Yeah, the two things my coach has always said is, one, if you can take your charge, number one, you're showing the ref that you're sacrificing your body. You're showing your teammates that you're sacrificing yourself for them. And two is never foul jump shooters. Never foul jump shooters. Defend them, get a hand up, but never foul a jump shooter. But what I like too is Providence Academy has come on. They've switched their defenses up. We've seen them in man-to-man. We've seen them in that 2-3. We've seen them in that 1-3-1 half-court trap. So three different defenses, and sometimes as an offense you don't get into a rhythm because you're wondering what they're going to be in, what set you're going to try to get in. And I'd say so far holding this very prolific offense, Maranatha Academy, to 11 points is definitely a win for Providence Academy.
The Mustangs, on the other hand, man-to-man defense throughout here in this first half. Providence Academy looking to go inside. Sebastian Brown got the travel, and Maranatha has a chance to cut into this lead now.
And see, that's where Sebastian Brown, you can see he's 6'4". He's got a height advantage right there. He's got to just take one dribble going to the basket, and he acts nervous when he gets the ball. That's where, they were talking about that. They can do it every day in practice. They can score. They just got to settle down, take care of the basketball, be aggressive, and good things will happen.
MCA moving the ball around that zone. Armstrong finds a soft spot in that zone and misses the jumper in and out, but Hansen keeps the ball alive. He draws the foul on the offensive rebound putback, and he'll go to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
And that's one of the weaknesses of a 2-3 zone is figuring out who to box out and giving up second chance points. And this Maranatha Christian Academy team, they are very athletic. Jeremiah Hansen, 6'4". He's a great athlete. He can dunk, great shooter. You got to get a body on someone and limit this team to second chance opportunities.
Hansen misses the front end. Jeremiah Hansen, as we kind of mentioned in the pregame, the 8th Hansen brother to play on this program. All in the last 10 years, 7 of them are 1,000-point career scorers. They all knew how to find the bucket. The 8th one, you got to feel like, did they really just, you can't score. You can't even talk around his house because he didn't score 1,000 points.
All I know is if I was one of their friends, I'd want to go eat whatever they eat at holiday meals, because whatever it is, it works. These kids know how to score points. They come from parents that play basketball. They're coached extremely well. And you grow up against other brothers that had great scoring ability. Guess what? When you're playing against them in the driveway, you figure out in a hurry that you better score too.
8 of them. I mean, 8 of them. It's going to be fun to watch them develop an adult league basketball. You're going to be playing against them here in a couple of years in their adult league.
The disappointing thing is, why didn't they have 2 more? Then we could have a 5-on-5 game. Maybe Channel 12 could televise the Hansen family reunion 5-on-5 basketball game. No, but it's a great story, and they've the Hansen name is a great tradition for the Mustangs.
Jeremiah, the final one to come through here, his senior year, and he's been just a couple of losses away from a state championship the last couple of years, and they'll try to get that this year. Pass inside to Hansen here. Nice finish, but a nice catch inside as well.
Yeah, and you can see he's just a natural scorer, and scorers always seem to be in the right spot at the right time. And he's cutting to the basket. He knows how to get open, and granted, he still's got to finish that, but that was a heck of a play, and really should have been a turnover, as I believe it was Dominic Miller almost had that steal.
Miller on the spin, switch to his right, his offhand, and he finishes.
That was a tough move. Like you said, he's left-handed. Him going to his left, coming back to his right, switching hands, having the athletic defender in his face, too. That was a big-time move.
Armstrong puts up the tray from the top and misses. Providence Academy, we've touted them as the underdog in this game, but they've been leading throughout the first half. I think they've maybe made MCA play their style of basketball a little bit. I mean, these possessions have really been lengthy, and they're making MCA play some defense as Brown misses the bunny.
And see, Sebastian Brown's just got to relax there. He's wide open. If he just, you can see a transition, how quickly this Mustang can take a defensive rebound and get it down the full court, and you can see they're going to call timeout. They convert a defensive rebound into transition baskets extremely quick. But here, I mean, Sebastian Brown is wide open. If he just takes one more step, maybe one dribble, and gathers himself, that's a bucket. Instead, it's off to the races the other way. Beautiful find by DeMario Armstrong, who finds Jake Mayan running the floor hard.
That's what I love about point guards being willing to defensive rebound. As Armstrong got down there, got that rebound, and it turned into offense because he grabbed that rebound and he can go. There's no need for the outlet.
Well, the other thing, too, is they have 4 or 5 guys that can all handle the ball, and they're all tall, they're all athletic, so they get the defensive rebound. They're taught, they're trained, they practice every day. You get it, let's go. And if there's someone ahead, throw it ahead. Otherwise, bring it up yourself and let's off to the races. You have to run a lot. You have to be effective in transition to average 85 points per game like they do.
Out of that timeout, Providence Academy saw its lead dwindling a little bit, so they're gonna maybe slow things down, I would imagine, on this possession.
Well, and you can see they changed the defense up. The Mustangs did. They're in a 2-3 zone. And they're gonna just try to get this Providence Academy offense maybe to stay on the perimeter and be a little bit more passive.
That's another subtle move that's a good veteran coaching move, is change your defense out of a timeout. Yep. The offense just got done talking about what they're doing in that possession.
Play up to go against that, and you come with something different.
Mayan from the corner, a 3. Maranatha still looking for its first three-pointer. They're a very good three-point shooting team, but an offensive rebounding team here tonight on the misses, and weren't able to convert as they missed 2 threes on that trip. Armstrong taking the second one. Providence Academy hanging on to that 2-point lead, and again, it's the Mustangs in that zone defense. Yeah, you put the ball on the deck there in the middle of that defense. It's going to be hard to hang on to as Drew Lair turns it over. And the Mustangs turn it into instant offense. Guy, and again, another fast break bucket.
Well, you can see Jake Mayan, he averages 14 points a game. He's got good handle, he's athletic, he can finish at the rim too. You know, in this Providence Academy team, their turnovers are all self-forced. They're nothing that the defense is doing. They're just not taking care of the basketball on their own. Talk about getting a friendly roll when you're on the road.
Richardson gets that one.
You know, and I was talking to Ariel McDonald, the assistant coach for Providence Academy, and he said he thought that Richardson was maybe their best player, a great athlete, and just kind of figuring out how to become a great basketball player. But he's got all the tools. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he works hard, and they expect him to have a great season.
Hansen misses the turnaround in the lane, and Richardson has the high this year. He's not leading the team in scoring, but he had 21 in a win over Annandale this year, so he's been the one player that's been able to cross that 20-point marker as Maranatha gets the defensive steal and turns it into quick points as Jeremiah Hansen gets his 3rd field goal of the game, give him 7 points now. He now leads all scorers for MCA.
Yeah, and Providence Academy, when they turn the ball over, they got to get someone back to stop the transition of Maranatha Academy. That's how they're getting all their points. That's how they've tied this game, is by getting out in transition and scoring in fast break fashion.
They're really getting their hands in the passing lanes when they got into the zone defense. Now it's Miller with a good drive there, but he looked like he traveled. I think he might have tripped over a foot as he got in there. It looked like he was going to get to the glass.
Yeah, but watch how quick you can see. Just great defense, and just they're off to the races. And then he is just, Hansen is so long that he puts that ball up, he extends like that. He's going to finish at the rim. There's nothing Providence Academy can do to slow that down. Defensively,
it was Cameron Munson who got that steal. I mean, he's shown an ability to do that in the post defense a couple of times now here. Armstrong gets it up top, finds its way into the middle for Hansen. Hansen went for the dish down low as he was looking to reward Munson for that defense. Instead turns it over. Yeah, Dominic Miller did a nice job of sliding down from his guard position, taking that pass away. Otherwise, that would have been an uncontested layup. You can see, too, Providence Academy real stagnant now on offense. Everything's around the perimeter. No one confidently trying to make a move. We saw them have success, Joe, when they were driving to the basket, either getting layups or getting passes to wide open teammates. Nothing going to the basket right now. Everything's been going away from it. And there's the player that solidified them earlier in the game and helped them get that lead. It's Gavin Blumberg, 8 points now on the night. Well, we talked in the pregame too, Joe, is
who's going to be that second scorer for them. And so far, Gavin Blomberg has come in and done that.
Hansen this time found Munson down low. Munson got fouled very hard, some contact to the face.
Yeah, and a great scorer. He knows he's going to draw some attention. Hansen dishes it down. Yeah, I don't think there's any question that there was definitely contact. I always love kids too when they foul someone, and if that look, what, me? What are you talking about? You can see Dominic Miller clearly landed on Cameron Munson's body there before he was able to shoot it. But you love the unselfish play of Jeremiah Hansen too, getting the ball in the middle. Defense collapses on him, unselfish down to the baseline. You love playing with guys like that can score, that can draw attention, but that also aren't afraid to be unselfish and find open teammates.
Miller's second foul for Providence Academy. To keep an eye on that, because he seems to be maybe the one Lions player who really handles the ball well against that pressure. We've seen Providence Academy kind of pass the ball a lot. You haven't seen too many guys put it on the deck, and maybe he's the one that kind of can, and he's going to sit down now with 2 fouls as checking into the game for Providence Academy in that spot as Noah Bolt, 5'9" junior point guard for Providence Academy.
Right, and we've seen Dominic Miller too defensively be a catalyst, getting his hands on balls, getting a couple of turnovers too. So obviously with his second foul, he's going to sit down maybe the rest of the half. And that could be a big loss for Providence Academy. Someone else is going to have to step up, not just from scoring the basketball, but just from a leadership standpoint, offensively being able to make good decisions with the ball.
Berquist had to take those free throws for Munson, who left with a bloody nose on that foul. Berquist hit 1 of 2. Munson's got some tissue in his nose, trying to make that bleeding stop here. Get back in the game. 3-pointer missed by Providence Academy. Loose ball foul called on Blumberg down low, I believe. He's going to get the push in the back.
Even though they missed that shot, Richardson stepped up and he caught that ball in rhythm. It was an open look. It was a nice offense. They got 4 or 5 passes, made that zone defense move. It was in rhythm. That's okay. That's a shot you can live with.
Armstrong tried to kick it to the corner. It goes off a leg of a Lion defender, and the ball will stick with Maranatha. Trailing by a point here, 2.5 minutes to go. A team that averages 85 points per game, and here we are, 2.5 minutes to go, and they have 21 points.
Well, we said too, Joe, that this game we thought for Providence Academy to win would have to be in the 50s or the 60s, and right now it's on that pace. The scary thing is the Mustangs can go on an 8-10-0 run in a matter of a minute with the guys they have on this team. So it's not there yet, but so far they've done a nice job of slowing the pace down.
A 3-pointer in the corner, and that will get him started in the right direction as Hansen hits his first tray.
Yeah, nice rhythm, catch and shoot. We've seen him make a couple of baskets close to the, couple of layups, a free throw. Sometimes that's what it takes to get that rhythm going for a shooter, and that time he's got such a quick release too.
Talk about a quiet first half, 10 points for Hansen. Puts the Mustangs up by 2 now. Providence Academy going to be really picky on this possession. A drive, Richardson tried to kick it, got the ball back, nearly lost it again. Richardson gets it on the wing. Quick, nice release of the shot. Open jumper, just didn't hit it. Here comes Maranatha the other way. Mayan, give and go from Munson. What a play!
Beautiful give and go. Pass down to Munson, who kicks it right back to Mayan. That was excellent basketball. You can tell those two have played together for a number of years. They knew exactly what was coming, and that's beautiful basketball right there.
Biggest lead of the game now for the Mustangs.
And you get the feeling too right now that Providence Academy just has no one that can make a play, no one that's aggressive or confident enough to make a play. Their best offense has been getting the ball to Blumberg down low. But look at Mayan, hits it down low. Excellent pass back from Munson. That's just great basketball right there. A lot of times as a defender, that ball goes in, you stop, you turn your back. And as the guy who passed it, if you keep cutting, you're going to be wide open. That was just great chemistry between those two.
Berquist gets the foul, his second of the game, as Blumberg rattles home the first one. Again, Blumberg comes into this game only averaging 3.2 points per game, and he has 9 now in the first half, and he's really been the key to Providence Academy. His size inside is giving the Mustangs problems.
Well, and they need him because Cameron Munson, 6'4", about 220 pounds for Maranatha Academy, so they need his size. and really just having him down low, being able to, even if he's not making shots, he's going to get that defense to collapse around him. It's going to open up his teammates, but he's been a very, very good here in the first half.
Armstrong breaks down the zone. Defense gets the floater in the lane.
That's a beautiful move. We've seen him do that 3 times now, go right down the heart of that 2-3 zone defense. You got to know he's left-handed. You got to take away his left hand, make him go right where we haven't seen him yet go right. He's not quite as strong going to his offhand.
And scores that Providence Academy would really like to get going is Riley Lowe, still looking for his first basket of the game, and this is a 3 on cue. Riley Lowe cuts the lead to 1.
Well, he's the only guy averaging in double figures.
Travel on the opposite end.
And they had him too. That was number 10, Jesse Hammond, who beat the defense down if he could have just caught. But you can see Lowe, that was really the first time we've seen him even look for a shot in the first half. He's averaging 10.5 points per game. He's got to be their leader. He's so talented offensively, and you can see he's got a great looking shot. He's just got to look for it more and be more aggressive. Now that he's made one of those, maybe he can shot fake and use that to get to the basket.
Lions will set up for last shot here, under 20 seconds to go. Richardson drives, kicks it back out, works its way back top. Lowe takes a look at the clock, realizes there's still 10 seconds to go. Richardson catches it in the corner, then nearly turns it over, gets it back. Down to 3, he's got to create his own shot. Great defense by Munson once again, knocking that ball out of bounds. And with 0.6 seconds to go, Providence Academy will try to heave something up here. It'll be John Henjun inbounding for the Lions. Hansen, the tallest defender for Maranatha, will guard the basketball. It goes into the middle, it's a turnover on Armstrong. And that will do it for the first half here, as Maranatha, trailing much of that first half, comes away here late to gain that lead. They had a 4-point lead, but a big 3-pointer by Riley Lowe cuts it to 1 point as the Mustangs lead 28-7. An exciting first half of basketball, and one that I think the Lions should be proud of as they head to halftime. But first, we're going to hear from Maranatha's head coach Jeffrey Wall, as Ryan Iverson is now standing by.
Thanks, Joe. Coach Wall, kind of a slow start. You guys are used to scoring 85 points there, but towards the end of the half, you certainly got the tempo of the game picked up a little bit.
Yeah, I thought the last maybe 8 minutes or so of the half was maybe a little bit more to our liking offensively. We just had a little too many defensive lapses, I think. But, you know, we got to make some adjustments, and they're playing physical basketball, and we've got to make some adjustments.
You got such a nice mix of guard play, good shooters, and even some power play down low. And then you have 4 or 5 guys that can all handle the ball in transition. What's the key here in the second half as far as picking that pace up?
Well, they're in that half-court trap, so when we come up, we've got to do a better job of attacking the seams on that, getting it to the elbow, trying to dump it down. And then we've got to get some stops and turnovers where we can run instead of always playing in the half court.
Thanks, Coach Wall, and good luck in the second half, too.
Thank you.
All right, back over to you, Joe.
All right, Coach Jeffrey Wall, you know, not the kind of half he expected here tonight, but knows that there's still another half of basketball, and what Ryan said earlier is they can pour it on anytime, and they'll look to do that in the second half. So we'll come back in just moments for your first half highlights and stats. You're watching boys high school basketball live on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
It's so shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Back at Maranatha Christian Academy in Brooklyn Park as the Mustangs lead 28-27 at halftime. Here's how we got here. It was Providence Academy coming out strong early in this game, and you'll see that in the highlights. There's the jumper from the corner. That's Colesrud knocking down his first field goal of the game. Then they started going inside to the reserve center, Gavin Blumberg. And he does it again. This is a nice little kisser off the glass. 4 points you saw in that
using that big
right
body
there.
too.
10 points and a half for him. Then they go back down inside. Isaiah Counts again off the bench. Good bench scoring for Providence Academy. 12 off the bench in that first half. And then it's Jeremiah Hansen getting into the scoring mix as he catches that one down low. And then on the run, we saw it a number of times. Jake Mayan's ability to finish in transition. And then it's the turnover caused by Munson. And then the quick offense. Hansen with the layup. And then we see Hansen from the corner hitting his first three-pointer of the game, showing that he can do it all for MCA. It was a 4-point lead for the Mustangs, but this big three-pointer at the end of the half is going to do wonders, I think, for Providence Academy and their confidence as Riley Lowe knocks down his only field goal of the half. There's a look at your leading scorers, both teams having one player in double figures. And how big was that three-pointer at the end there for Providence Academy, just to cut the lead from 4-1 at half?
Well, I think besides just the obvious scoring of it, I think Riley Lowe, their leading scorer, maybe does wonders for his confidence too going into the second half. I mean, Gavin Blumberg, sophomore, you mentioned, came into the game with only 9 points. So for him to get double figures by halftime, that's a huge surprise. Of course, no surprise seeing Jeremiah Hansen in double figures already, but we talked a lot about pace, and 28-27, that is a perfect style right now for Providence Academy to get a win here on the road. I'm expecting that Maranatha Christian's going to hear a mouthful at halftime, and they're going to come out and really try to get up and down the floor.
Yeah, you see Hansen with 10 points. If anything, he's below his average because he's on pace only to get 20 where he averages 25.
Well, he is, and he got the majority of those 10 points in the last couple minutes of that half, and that's what's worrisome when playing against Maranatha Christian is they can put up points in such a hurry, and they can go from transition and turnover into points, into three-pointers. They got 4 or 5 guys that can all handle the ball, and they get out and run, and they're athletic, and their defensive intensity has been really good. I'd like to see, if I'm Providence Academy, the beginning of the game, they came out and they were aggressive offensively. They attacked the basket. They went down low. They got to get back to doing that. They got to have more than 1 or 2 guys being aggressive offensively.
Well, it was a great first half. We expect a good second half as well. It's doubleheader night here at Maranatha Christian Academy. The boys do it first, Maranatha and Providence, and after this game we have the girls, Maranatha and Benilde St. Margaret. It's a great night of basketball live here on 12 Sports, and we'll be right back for second half action here at Maranatha Christian Academy.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. you can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
In Brooklyn Park, Maranatha leading 28-27 as we stand by now with Ryan Iverson, who's standing by with assistant coach for Providence Academy, Ariel McDonald.
I'm joined by the second best color analysis for Channel 12 Sports, Ariel McDonald, also the assistant coach for Providence Academy. Coach, we talked a lot about before the game the pace of this game, keeping it in the 50s or the 60s. So far, you got to be pretty happy with where the score's at.
Yeah, we like where we're at right now. Maybe we need to control their fast break, stop some of those easy baskets they're getting. Playing great against zone, getting the shots that we like. Right now, they've only hit maybe one three-point shot from the outside. So we like where we're at.
Anything different as far as second half strategy?
Maybe, once again, just stopping that fast break. That's where they're getting the primary points from. So if we can get back, get those bigs to sprint back, control those guards up front, I think we'll be all right.
And last thing, you got to be happy, sophomore Gavin Blum coming off the bench with 10 points, too. Big spark.
Yeah, big fella. He's playing well right now. Tremendous talent, but a big lift off the bench. So for us, we're really positive about that.
Well, good luck in the second half, Ariel. Thanks. All right, back to you, Joe.
All right, Ryan Iverson and Ariel McDonald. Ariel McDonald, of course, Minnesota Gopher legend. Great point guard for the Gophers back in the Clem Haskins era. Another good point guard there. Demario Armstrong pushing the limits, and he'll get a second charging call of the game as set up defensively to take that charge was Providence Academy's Dominic Miller, and that was a key play right there because Miller, if he doesn't get the charge call, gets his third foul, but he gets rewarded good defensive positioning, and Armstrong turns it over with that second charging foul of the game. So Providence Academy trailing by one now, gets the defensive stop to open up the second half, and now they look to maybe gain a lead here in the second half. Dominic Miller hits the jumper. The left-handed point guard stepped into that one. A nice feed there from the big man, Sebastian Brown.
And Dominic Miller, we saw him do a lot of damage going to the basket, making plays too, but that time he stepped into his jump shot with confidence. A big three-pointer to get them the lead here. The excellent start to this second half for Providence Academy. Taking a charge on one end, or they only give him a two on that one.
Munson on the offensive rebound. Armstrong on the drive. The leaner in the lane. This one's short, but they keep the offensive rebound alive. Sebastian Brown gets his second block now. And now Armstrong, I think, is going to get pushed on the far side. So a foul on Providence Academy.
They're going to get Jack Colesrud, number 34, reaching away from the basket. That's a foul that you can't commit when you got a guy dribbling away from the basket. I know it's tempting, but you don't want to hack down and give him a free foul. Get him into the bonus perhaps a little bit quicker.
Hansen gets that one to go for MCA. Hansen, first bucket of the second half, and nifty move there in the paint. Sebastian Brown didn't have a very good first half, but came out here in the second half now with an assist and 2 blocks already. Maybe that'll help him get going.
You know, and that's really his role, Joe. He only averages just over 6 points a game, so not a huge offensive threat, but he does a lot of other little things great for this team.
What about the feed from Munson to Hansen?
And you can see these guys are just trained. If the ball's on the floor, if you're a wing player, you take off and you sprint to the other end. And these guys know right where their guys are supposed to be. Great, they do a great job of passing the ball up court.
Nice take by Richardson, takes it all the way to the rim and gets the finish, cuts into that lead.
And he's got really nice athleticism, nice strength, good body control. And he's got a quick first step and able to absorb contact and finish at the rim. He's a nice looking player.
Providence Academy staying in that zone. Nice shot fake, opens up a jumper. Nice move there by MCA's Jake Mayan. We've seen Mayan finish in the fast break. That's maybe his best half-court possession right there with that move.
And another power move by Richardson. And Ariel McDonald told me before the game, he said he is one of their best players. And I like that offense. He goes hard to his right, spins back to his left, draws the contact. And on the other side, what you were just talking about, Jake Mayan, that was his best offensive move. He shot faked, went hard one dribble, and then the lost art of the mid-range jump shot. And there was no doubt that was going in. He's a very, very skilled offensive basketball player.
Richardson misses hard off the back iron on his first free throw attempt. He was 0 for 2 in the first half too, so might have to, he's good at getting to the line, but might have to work on the stroke a little bit once he gets there.
I always say they call them free for a reason, because they're free throws. You got to be able to make your free throws. Always when you're on the road playing against maybe a team that you're not supposed to beat, you got to take advantage, capitalize on all your free throws.
0 for 4 on the night. They're trailing by 3. Those kind of loom large when you play in close games. Armstrong gets the contact on that one, got around Miller. Miller's going to pick up his 3rd foul as Armstrong seeming to be winning that point guard matchup a little bit right now.
Well, he does, and he's quick and he's strong. He's got good size, but the other thing is he's going left, which is his dominant hand. And I'd like to see that adjustment made by Providence Academy, forcing him to go right. Because when he gets to the left, he seems to be able to get to a spot on the floor and then rise up, and he's got great touch, too, with that left-hand floater.
0 for 2 from the line. Boy, both teams struggling from the free throw line here tonight. And that ball will go to the Lions. Trailing by 3. Important stretch for Providence Academy, I think, to try to get through this initial surge from MCA and get deeper into the game in a close basketball game.
Yeah, we can see when you play a team like Maranatha Academy that can put up 10, 12, 14 points in a hurry.
Richardson gets a little bit of contact, but no call, but it didn't matter. He got the finish.
Well, it's the same move he just had the previous time down the floor. Oh, wow. They're going to get a push on Cameron Munson. But take a look at this body control, Joe. Going to his left with his right hand, coming back across his body, able to absorb contact and still get the shot off and make it. And I like, again, not to elaborate on it even more, but when they're getting aggressive and going to the basket, they've had success here tonight. It's when they're stagnant and not confident that their offense has been stagnant. They got to keep attacking.
Here goes Richardson on the attack, and they got to travel here. Oh, tough call because it looked like there was a held ball possibly if you're going to call the travel. There's a reason why he didn't get the ball up, right?
That's either got to be a jump ball or a foul. I don't think that's a travel.
It's a jump ball all day. I was just about to pay the refs great compliments for the no call of the play before, because Armstrong got his hands straight up in the air. Hansen hits the three-pointer, his second one of the night, and just like that, Maranatha back to a 4-point lead, and they'll take a quick timeout.
The one criticism here of this 2-3 is take a look at this. You're going to see number 15, Riley Lowe, who's on the wing there. You have a great shooter, a guy like Jeremiah Hansen, who's a great shooter, great scorer. There has to be an awareness on him. And we haven't seen DeMario Armstrong beat them with three-point shots here tonight. So instead of having two guys converge on the top there, you almost have to have a guy, like a quarterback spy, if you will, in football, that knows where Hansen is at all times. You can't give a guy like that who's getting into his rhythm, wide open looks to be able to step into his three like that. That's just poor awareness on defense.
Well, and one thing too, I mean, you're the basketball guy, but on 2-3 zone right there, you got a point guard who's been able to penetrate a little bit, and then you got a great wing shooter. There's not been much inside, just put the ball down in the paint and score down low, so the three doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I would maybe get that one of the third defenders to come out atop a little bit too.
And Joe, too, the 2-3 zone, the bottom wings can actually come out, and you almost make it a matchup.
That's kind of where I would come from, I think, to defend that three-point shot.
But generally, when you play a 2-3 zone, you got to take away the one shooter that's on that team, and I don't think they've done a good job of that tonight. And that's something, and hopefully in that timeout, that they can address.
Turnover there for the Lions, and each offensive possession is so critical. You don't want to waste any and not get the ball up to the rim. Mayan goes up top to Armstrong. Now a little pick and roll. Mayan hoists it up from three, off, rebound. Goes to Blumberg, who's checked in now for Providence Academy after the great first half, 10 points off the bench. That's John Henjun bringing the ball up for Providence Academy.
You know, and the difference too is Providence doesn't have those shooters on the offensive side like Maranatha does.
Munson defensively has been a force tonight. Knocks that ball away from Blumberg. Now it's Mayan. He got away with the Euro step. No, he didn't. He get caught for the travel. The two long steps.
And again, I thought that looked like a heck of a move. You can see too Mayan pleading his case. And just a nice move. That's just one extra step. Maybe if we were in the NBA, they would get away with that. But it's one of those, Joe, that looks like a travel, but it really isn't a travel. It's a good move.
Armstrong forces the turnover, gets the layup and the foul.
And just a lot of tentativeness and hesitation. Riley Lowe, who's one of their best players, he's a senior captain for them. I mean, just a pass in the backcourt that you can't make. There was no pressure on him. They got to be more confident. They got to be more aggressive, especially in a full court press like that where they can be the attackers. And instead, a great job, DeMario Armstrong reading the defense, almost like a free safety, cuts in and gets a three-point play. And you're starting to kind of feel that pendulum start swinging to the Mustang side here.
And just like that, Dominic Miller checks back into the game with 3 fouls if they had a hard time handling that. And Dominic Miller throws it away. All of a sudden, the press from MCA. A little bit too much for Providence Academy.
And Joe, it's like no one wants to have the ball in their hands. They want to get it rid of. Someone's got to take control, take the dribble, attack that with the dribble, get to the middle of the floor, and either make a play or drive and kick. And instead, it's almost like it's hot potato. No one wants to have the ball in their hands.
Ariel McDonald has to go show what he used to do to break that press.
Yeah, you know, and the other thing we talked to, when you're on the road, how big are free throws, Joe? And you can see 2 for 6 for Providence Academy, 4 for 8 for Maranatha, so not much better. And neither team, what that tells me, when there's only been 14 free throw attempts, is neither team is being overly aggressive. A lot of perimeter shots and a lot of transition, easy layups too for the Mustangs. So not a lot of fouls, not a lot of aggression offensively.
What it tells me too, I mean, you know, you don't want to, when I got my Providence Academy and I got a bunch of big guys that don't have any fouls, and I got MCA making free throw or layups, and they're not hitting free throws, you know, play physical. You know, take a couple fouls down in the paint.
No, absolutely. I think Providence Academy is going to look back at this game and say, because we've seen the ability to make plays, I just think they got to get more aggressive offensively. And when you get the ball, try to make a play. If you lose the ball or you make a turnover doing that, fine, we'll live with that. But these unforced turnovers are killing them, especially in the backcourt here against that pressure.
Cameron Munson's been a big force tonight. Last year, you know, inside last year, he averaged 12.1 points per game and 7 rebounds, led the team in rebounds. Tonight, it's been real defensively.
He's kind of been the enforcer, if you will. We've seen him block shots and get after it offensively and defensively, rebounding the ball.
Look at that, the Lions get the rebound, but then the pass inside. What a feed by Mayan to Joe Jacobson.
Jake Mayan doing his Magic Johnson impersonation. No look, over the shoulder pass. And here's another turnover, but Providence Academy able to hang on to it.
Blumberg goes up with it, misses a little hard, gets his own rebound, calls his number, gets it back up and in. Nice work by the sophomore.
Well, Blumberg is going to leave this game and knowing nothing else. He's playing his butt off. He's playing hard, just pure relentless there, going after the offensive rebound, able to corral it and finish it. He's had a heck of a game, his best game as a varsity basketball player, no doubt.
That was a big bucket right there, because if they don't score, MCA comes back down, gets that lead up to 11 perhaps, and now it's Armstrong from 3! Armstrong gives Maranatha its biggest lead of the night, a 10-point lead on that three-point shot.
Well, just the difference, too, is you can see that Maranatha Christian Academy, every time everyone touches it, there's a purpose. The pass is going over here. They know what they want to do. They're decisive. They know exactly what's going to happen. Where on the flip side, it seems like Providence there, you can see settling for really about a 22-footer.
That was a deep three. He should have put himself in better position. Now Jacobson from the corner, and they're heating up here at Maranatha.
While making three-pointers, it's like the flu. It's contagious. You see one going, all of a sudden everyone's got confidence. And they've made a number of them here, shooting the ball much better than they did in the first half. Yeah, nice job, DeMario Armstrong. Really, we've seen that top of the key be open all night. There, it's a swing pass. Joe Jacobson knocks a three-pointer down, his first three of the night. So just a really contagious thing. And when you're making extra passes too, and we saw that great no-look pass by Jake Mayan, that gets everyone excited. The crowd gets excited, and all of a sudden the rim looks a lot bigger than it really is, and these shots are starting to fall.
Mustangs had 28 points in the first half. So far now in the first 6 minutes, they have 20 in the second half.
Do you see too, Joe, how Providence, everyone touches it. It's quick, get rid of it as fast as you can. There's no purpose. The passes aren't creating any advantage. It's all around the perimeter. Where on the flip side, the Mustangs, everyone gets it, they drive and kick and swing it. They're getting other people open, other guys' looks.
That was the aggressive move you're looking for.
There you go.
Richardson drove hard and then kicked, and Miller knocks down the three-pointer. Good offense there at the end of that possession.
And they can get that. They've gotten that all game long. They just have gotten away from it. Yeah.
Well, now they take the charge. Nice job defensively inside there by Sebastian Brown. Here's, Richardson's the guy that's been driving the basketball here in the second half.
And he's got to keep doing that because no one else seems to step up and do that. That was a great play. We've seen him get to the basket and finish. That time, all of a sudden the defense drives, collapses. He hits his teammate. And I believe was that Dominic Miller that knocked that down?
Yep.
I couldn't see the number.
Dominic Miller knocks it down from the top.
Oh, see, he's got to take that. He just knocked one down. And you can see he hesitates there.
That was Brown. As the defense came, he didn't get the tough shot off. Now it's Mayan on the run. Maranatha up by 10. Lions got to get hot fast here to keep up with MCA's offense. Now Armstrong got careless with the basketball. Richardson gets the ball, and now he's going to get the benefit of a foul being called. Kind of saved him from what might have been a travel. As reaching in there was Brock Bergquist for MCA.
Yeah, good hands by, I think that was Dominic Miller on the floor. See, both teams have guys on the floor. You'll love that hustle. But on the previous possession, Dominic Miller had a wide open look, Joe, on that left wing. He just knocked one down, and he hesitates again. And that's, and they recognize that they got to be aggressive to beat good teams. And they got skill. A lot of these guys on Providence, they have the skill to do it.
Miller dribbles into the defense, kicks it to Brown in the corner. Brown misses, air ball. And here comes MCA on the run. Jacobson, all by himself, misses high off. Munson nearly had the rebound, but Richardson comes away with it.
I like Richardson. He's a tough kid. Great looking pass.
Oh, nice drive and pass, but Brown couldn't handle it. Reset now for Providence Academy. Richardson catches it up top. Low, back to Richardson, over to the corner for Miller. Fakes the shot, draws the defense. Brown loses it, gets it back, and can't finish the layup. Armstrong gets the rebound, and look who's waiting for it, Jacobson. 7 points now in the second half. As Richardson tried to block that, got a piece of the glass.
And more importantly, our cameraman took a hit into the mat underneath the basket. That was some great action shots right there. But again, you can see converting a miss, defensive rebound into transition bucket so quickly, and that's what this team does extremely well.
Now it's Low from the corner for three. Can't get it to go. Loose ball. Miller keeps it alive for Providence Academy. Tried to go back down low to Low, but good defense. Munson, with some awareness, felt that back door opening up and knocked that one away.
Yeah, take a look. I mean, you can see DeMario Armstrong gets that defensive rebound. And we talked, too, about a guard getting a rebound because they can turn around and just push it. And look at the camera work. Excellent. Coming right into your living room. That's what Channel 12 Sports is all about. So you can see just the transition offense by the Mustangs has been really, it's really been the difference in the game tonight because they've been able to convert so quickly.
Channel 12 is just happy he didn't drop that expensive camera on that contact. Free throw line now for Providence Academy. They probably haven't been there enough and haven't been good when they've been there, so Drew Lair will try to break that trend. Lair looking for his first points of the night, misses hard off the back iron on the 1-on-1. So they have MCA in the penalty here now. It's a matter if they can push the limit a little bit and get to that free throw line and then convert. Hansen fakes the three. Up top to Jacobson. Misses hard off the rim, and a foul on the ground as Munson was held by Lair, they say. Gavin Blomberg will check back in for Providence Academy, and going to take a quick break will be Matt Richelson.
Well, you're down 12. You got 9:05 left. I mean, that's certainly not an insurmountable lead, Joe. You know, you just got to start breaking it down, 2 points a minute, or get a stop here, and then there you go. Get a stop and get a transition.
Lowe misses the lefty, though. Jacobson lost the ball, lost his footing, lost the ball, and then Providence Academy inability to score in transition.
Yeah, and Riley Lowe, who's a great athlete, a good scorer. I mean, that's a bucket. Uncontested layup, you just got to be able to make that. I think he started hearing footsteps, maybe got worried about some contact. You just got to concentrate on getting that basket to fall and worry about the contact afterwards.
Lowe catches it, throws it into the corner to Lair. Now Blomberg catches it deep, double team came. Lowe didn't pull the trigger.
No, and you can see he just missed a shot. Wide open, top of the key. We've seen his shot. He's got a nice looking shot. He's got to be able to take that.
Armstrong's ability to play defense out there, very impressive. And then the pass to Hansen and the finish. Boy, that all started with the point guard's ability to play defense, get inside, then get back outside to go to the three-point shooter. He gets the steal and the assist. And Maranatha with a 14-point lead now forces Providence Academy to take a timeout.
Yeah, DeMario Armstrong, we're really impressed with him. Take a look at that. He's a left-handed player. Looked like he was going to go to his left, instead behind his back. And great hands, too, by Jeremiah Hansen to go low to catch that ball and then to contort his body and still be able to finish. But DeMario Armstrong, really a nice mix of a scoring point guard. We've seen him, be able to knock a three down, get to the basket and score, but also very unselfish, good rebounder as well.
Well, his help defense in that zone defense has been pretty good. I mean, every time someone's got beat, he's been down there with a hand up.
Quick.
And some.
Yep, he's kind of really been an all-around player. I don't know what his stat line is, but he's a guy that you feel like could maybe get you a triple-double every night. Maybe not going to give you 40 points, but might give you 15, 8, 8, and 8, and just kind of a stat stuffer, as we like to say. But he's a good athlete, and the good news is he's only a junior for Mustang fans.
He's got 12 tonight. That's his season average is 12. Jake Mine, the second leading scorer on this team, with averages 14.5, and Munson averages 14. We haven't seen Munson offensively, but they really haven't needed it. Munson's been contributing in many other ways.
Yeah, he's been the enforcer. He's look at another quick hands by Armstrong.
With a steal and a finish. Armstrong, the junior point guard, looking good now here as this game stretches on.
And you can see how explosive he is too, Joe. He 2 dribbles from the half-court line. It looked like he was high enough where he could have maybe dunked that. Just a really good athlete and a really good basketball player. He competes, plays at both ends of the floor, Joe.
Jack Colesrud knocks down that shot from the baseline. He hit one from a similar spot earlier in the game.
Yep.
Mayan misses that one. There's Munson on the offensive board, and then he got torn down by Blomberg. Blomberg's going to get the foul for going over the back.
Yeah, there's a quick hands. Armstrong, look at that. 1-2 dribble, and he explodes at the rim, finishes with that left hand. And then on the other end, Providence Academy swings it around, and I believe that was Colesrud knocking down the baseline from the right side. And you're right, his first bucket of the game was from the right side. Is it me, or is Cameron Munson not a guy you'd want to mess with?
He's
all
messed up in the face, too. I mean, he's got tissue in his nose.
He's bleeding from his nose. Just a tough guy on the floor. Kind of does all the little things for this Mustang
I don't know how
team.
he got the foul there.
I think they called a jump ball out of that.
Oh, jump ball, really? Yeah, he looked like he got the offensive board to me in that position, but yeah, I'll leave Cameron Munson on. I'll take him on my team, though. I like guys like that.
Absolutely.
Finally breaking the press is the Lions.
Nice
pass right there. Backdoor feed and the lay-in as John Henjun gets that one to go.
Yeah, Henjum, nice job cutting to the basket. We've seen them stagnant, staying around the perimeter all game long. And that time they were aggressive and they attacked, and they got, once you know, they got a good look out of it.
They gave Armstrong that jumper and he missed it. Lowe gets the rebound. Now he's trapped here, but does a good job of finding help. Finds Kolsrud, now Henjun. Kolsrud will walk it across the half-court line, guarded by Mayan. Tight man-to-man defense from MCA right now. They go down to the big fella, get it back out to Kolsrud, right back. Nice repost. Blumberg gets double teamed and a nice little step through left-handed look and just missed it.
Well, all his baskets tonight have been going to his right over his left shoulder. That time he went right, came back to his left, and it worked. The defense went for that fake, and he drew the contact and almost got the three-point play. But the big fella, only a sophomore, he's been sharp tonight.
And the double team's coming too, so eventually there's going to be some areas for him to kick it out and try to get that three-pointer.
Well, and you wonder too if he came in only with 9 points on the year, so was he just not getting a chance? Was he hurt, or is this kind of unexpected? Because he looks like he belongs out there.
He's going to get some clock now. Yeah, he's going to get some clock. He's going to be part of that offense.
He's got good size. I bet he looks like he'd be a good football player too. And he's been the one Providence Academy player to knock down all his free throws here tonight, too.
4 for 4 from the line for the sophomore center. And now Providence Academy gets the turnover. The things that they need to get back into the ball game, some points while the clock is stopped at the free throw line, some steals, they're happening. Now double team and a three-point play opportunity for the big fella, Gavin Blumberg.
Gavin Blumberg looking more like Patrick Ewing in this game. Look at the big guy calling for the ball. Power dribble, takes the contact. He finishes it at the rim.
Mosquitoes.
Get off me, he says. Keep feeding me. I like his aggression. He's been really the one guy tonight who's been aggressive, calling for the ball. He wants the ball. 16 points already, a number of rebounds. And he's single-handedly getting Providence Academy back into this ball game.
You're right about football too, though, doesn't he? He's got the look of a good football player.
He does. Like, he's just tough. He doesn't care. He's going to play. He looks like a player.
Ooh, he's not nearly as big, but you remember Jake Cuppy, the Minnetonka kid. Remember that? I mean, he was D1 offensive lineman, but down low, he was a beast to handle in the paint.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Gavin Blumberg, I mean, he's only 6'4", so it's not like he's 6'8", 6'9", but he's got great footwork, and he's thick, and he uses his body nicely. But kind of what this has done is Providence Academy has really been more aggressive defensively, and they haven't had an answer for Demario Armstrong, as again, he's able to get through the heart of that defense, going to his left with a floater like that. They got to be able to take that away.
Richardson with the drive, runs out of room, goes right back to it. They're going to say
he hooked him.
Oh, they say he hooked him with the off arm. Hansen with the defense there, and turnover on Providence Academy as they were trying to cut into that lead. What a big bucket that was for Demario Armstrong on the previous possession for MCA, as Providence Academy, at least for a few possessions, they were starting to gain some momentum.
You know what the difference between these two teams? I mean, there's not a difference in size, athleticism. It's that the Mustangs, Joe, they got 3 or 4 guys that can create their own shot whenever they need to. And we see Armstrong, even though he missed that, he can get to a spot and elevate. And this Providence Academy team, they don't have 4 different guys that are going to the basket, creating their own shot like that, like Kolsrud did right there.
Jacobson made a little mistake there defensively for MCA. He just kind of went to the ball when he probably had Kolsrud, and Kolsrud takes it in. Cameron Munson stays away, doesn't want to pick up that foul, and Kolsrud gets the easy finish. So nice bucket there for Providence Academy. They cut the lead to 7 and kind of keeping this game with reaching distance.
I think their offense has picked up since they've been more aggressive, and it seems like it always starts with Gavin Blomberg down low. He gets a couple of buckets, all of a sudden someone else starts driving to the basket, and Kolsrud in transition saw that no one was going to pick him up, and Munson not wanting to pick up another foul kind of let him have it. So a heads-up play, opportunistic transition offense for Providence Academy.
Well, lucky you, this basketball game as it comes to the end. We got more basketball for you here tonight on Channel 12. Benilde St. Margaret's versus Maranatha, and a big girls basketball matchup. Maranatha just like the boys team, a powerhouse in their class. And a lot of tradition there for Maranatha. They'll play against a bigger school here today in Benilde, so it should be a good matchup.
Both teams undefeated. Both teams a lot of talent on both sides of it. It should be really a great game. And Maranatha girls team is really a dynasty on the girls side of things. Having been to the state tournament last year, the last couple of years, the state title a few years ago. So they've built a powerhouse, and they got a lot of talent. Should be a really fun game to watch.
Maranatha Academy looking to go 4-0 here tonight with a victory. Last year they started off 11-0 before losing to Minneapolis Washburn. The year before that they started off 13-0 before losing to Duluth East. So it took teams in higher classes to beat them the last couple of years. Munson, aggressive move, gets blocked by Blumberg. Good defense from the sophomore.
He did a nice job. He never left his feet. He timed that one perfectly. He doesn't get off the floor extremely high, but he had great timing. He's got big arms, and he timed it perfect.
There's the
quadruple
team.
Yeah.
And he's going to get called for the travel. He's got to sense that double team, triple team come and kick it out quick.
I think, too, being that it's his first game with real success at the varsity level. He's only a sophomore. That's going to come. If he can be effective like he has been tonight and start reading that and finding open teammates, and they can start playing inside out off of him, they're going to be a much better offensive team. There's no doubt about it.
Just under 5 minutes to go now. Hansen with the lefty and the foul. Hansen gets fired up about that. Colzer was playing some tough defense on him there, but Hansen's a pretty good little solution to the zone too.
That's the best move he's had tonight. You see how he caught that, spun to his left, finished with his left. Really a quick move. That was not an easy play. When you got contact hanging off with your offhand to finish, that was a heck of an offensive move.
Hansen had 10 in the first half, has 11 now in the second half. He was off to a real quick start, scored a quick 7 to get going here in the second half, and then slowed down a little bit as Armstrong's picked it up. But now it's Hansen's turn on that trip. And this is the free throw, however.
Yeah, he has 21, but we've seen a couple of missed open threes, a couple of missed free throws. You feel like he could have easily have had 35 here tonight.
Well, and it's a tribute to Hansen is he's not worried about his point total. No. I mean, he hasn't called for the ball. He's let Armstrong do his thing.
And he's passed the ball. He draws defenders. He's not a selfish basketball player by any stretch. No, he's pretty efficient too.
A nice repost right
look at
there.
The shot fake. That's got to be some contact.
Look like they're going to give him credit for the good defense. Munson got the block, and
let's take a look at that. I mean, I thought it was a great shot fake. Inside out, right back to the big fella. Look at him go up. Yeah.
Usually when you get him up in the air, you get a foul, but Munson did a pretty good job of getting his hand on ball.
He did. But again, good move.
Bad pass there by Armstrong. Not what they wanted right there. It's Richardson. Kicks it. Open jumper, in and out.
That was a big one, Joe. That could have cut it down to 7 with just under 4 minutes left.
Engine couldn't get it to go. Now you see Mayan gets the late foul call. It took a little bit of a moment. There was some hesitation.
I mean, that looked like a pretty similar play to the one before. I mean, there looked like to be a little bit extra contact there. That's what you do when you got a big fella guarding you and you're a guard, and Jake Mayan, who just has an uncanny ability to be around the basket and to score. He's got a nice all-around game. We've seen him have a couple of really nice passes, running in transition, good defender, good rebounder, able to score, but he does a nice job shot faking, getting the big fella in the air, drawing the contact.
Mayan averages 14.5 coming into this game. Now has 11 on the evening. Makes both of his free throws. And Maranatha now gets that lead back into double digits, up by 11. Armstrong pressuring Dominic Miller. Lowe never really took off after hitting that three-pointer to end the first half. We thought maybe that was a sign of good things to come for him and his jump shot. Blumberg double teams there, kicks it out to Miller, but Miller wasn't the open shooter. Now Miller drives, gets around his defender, but then it's Munson again defensively, really guarding that paint well tonight.
Yeah, he really has. He's not necessarily blocking a lot of shots, but getting his hands on a lot of balls and just getting in the way, taking charges, being physical, done a nice job.
There's Lowe putting one up there confidently, but just not drawing any iron even. Hensrud aggressive move. He uses the glass to get the finish. And the lead's back to single digits, now 9.
Well, Henjum's come off the bench, and he's kind of provided a spark here. He's gotten a number of baskets. We've seen him aggressive, hitting jump shots, attacking the basket. That was a nice move, too. And I like this, too. The Mustangs, they'll be happy to take some time off the clock, maybe force Providence Academy to come out of this zone and play aggressive, and that'll just open things up for their athletes.
Armstrong misses. Hansen tried to keep the rebound alive, got it knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with MCA. Well, Maranatha Academy, since 2004, a 267 and 39 record. Incredible winning percentage of 87.2. Looks like they might be close to pulling out another one here tonight. They have a 9-point lead, and they're going to be heading to the free throw line. As Cameron Munson with tissue up his nose to stop the bleeding.
Tissue, looks like his forehead's all cut and bruised. He's a tough kid, and he's had a really big impact. He hasn't scored a lot of points here tonight, but his impact has certainly been felt in other areas, other facets of the game. And anytime, too, you got a senior like that, that's your leader, you know, it just gives you a little bit more confidence knowing you got a tough guy and a strong guy, you know, as your center in the back there who's got your back. That's a big confidence booster.
We talked about Maranatha being the number 3 ranked team in the state, number 1 being Minneapolis North. The only problem is those two teams play in the same section. So likely we'll see a duel come playoff time for one of those two teams to get to the state tournament, as Maranatha will look for its third straight trip. Here comes Mayan on the turnover. Nice feed to Hansen. Wow. And Hansen lays it in.
Jake Mayan, I think, has been the most valuable player here tonight. He's done everything. Look at the athletic effort defensively to come up with that ball, takes it down the other end in transition, and then becomes a playmaker for his teammate. Just a great effort by Mayan here tonight.
Richardson looking for some help. Throws it into traffic, but Dominic Miller came away with it, and he got the roll on the layup. And Providence Academy will take a quick timeout.
Yeah, take a look at the pass. No-look pass. Mayan feeding his buddy Jeremiah Hansen, running the floor in transition. That's a good duo right there. You got Armstrong, Hansen, and Mayan. Those three on the break. That's tough to stop.
There's the Mustangs' upcoming schedule: Legacy Christian and Minneapolis Southwest. Maybe a nice contest for them against Southwest. And one game that's, you know, a big one worth circling on the calendar: January 17th, a Saturday afternoon at Minneapolis North. It'll be a nice preview of things maybe to come in the section finals. They played last year, and Maranatha got the best of the Polars, but Minneapolis North hoping to change that around. Maranatha would like to go to state once again. There's Providence Academy, St. Anthony Village, and Minneapolis Edison, a couple of non-conference games before they jump into their conference schedule. And their conference includes teams like Breck, Minnehaha Academy, St. Paul Academy, Blake, and Mountain Park Academy. I guess Breck is the big one that sticks out there. If Providence Academy is able to break through, get a conference championship, and maybe a trip to state, they also have Breck in their section.
Well, I'll tell you, too, playing Jordan early in the year, they lost to him 47-42. And also, you know, they also lost to Brooklyn Center. So having some of these tough non-conference games, I think, is going to really suit them well as they get into the meat and potatoes of their conference schedule.
Brooklyn Center is another team that will show up on Maranatha's schedule later in the year. That'll be a good test for the Mustangs as well. Brooklyn Center, a team that we saw on Channel 12 Sports already this season. Nice win over Park Center. Munson going to work hard off the glass with a lefty.
I was about to say, Joe, they should take some time off the clock. And you get Cameron Munson, who offensively hasn't had a huge game here tonight. Instead, he throws up a running left-handed jump hook, gets it to fall. What a move.
Dominic Miller answers on the other end. Miller having a much better second half here. He has 13 in the game, 9 in the second half, and now Munson draws the foul. Richardson not really agreeing with that call, but Munson goes right back to the free throw line where he's been quite familiar here the second half.
Well, Jake Mayan made that play again, driving to his left, a no-look bounce pass to Cameron Munson, who was in the right place, did a nice job drawing that contact. I've just been really impressed with Jake Mayan here tonight.
They got enough guys that play basketball the right way.
Yep.
That's why they're successful. I mean, there's no question. Look, why are they able to win 25, 30 games a year? Well, They're playing basketball the right way. Not only do they have some good talent, but guys like Mayan, not always looking for zone shots, willing to kick it.
No, and that's a great point, Joe. No one seems selfish. I mean, no one seems like they're forcing shots or just trying to get their self a shot. It all seems to come in the flow of the game. And in transition, they don't.
Hansen, a little strong on the layup, perhaps was anticipating contact. Now Richardson back the other way into the lane, tried to pass it, got it knocked away by Maya. Now it's Armstrong. Armstrong goes up for the layup, and
I think he looked like he was trying to get his foot in, that he wanted to maybe slam that one. And again, good defense. Mayan creates that one.
He's got those Jay Wilcox hops.
I was going to say John Jacobson hops, but either one. Both of them work. But Demario Armstrong, he's a nice-looking kid. Only a junior, 6 foot, but he's strong, really quick. And again, they have so many weapons, and they have such good balance. And they got they got 4 guys averaging in double figures, which is, come playoff time, come against really good teams, when you have multiple options like that, that's certainly going to be an asset for them. They're going to be tough to guard.
Sebastian Brown couldn't handle the offensive rebound on the Dominic Miller miss, and Cameron Munson will take another rebound. 43 points in the second half for MCA after only putting up 28 in the first half. Second half much more like the Mustangs that we have come to know. 15 seconds away from now, going 4-0. Jeremiah Hansen, one more for good measure.
Yeah, they were able to get the score into that 70s, and we kind of thought maybe this game would have to be in the high 50s, low 60s for Providence Academy to have a chance. But hats off to the Mustangs, I thought they came out and established their identity, their pace of play in the second half, and were able to pull away and win this game by 18 points.
And that last bucket for Jeremiah Hansen just gets him to his cool average of 25 points per game. So it's Maranatha Academy coming on strong in the second half, leading only by 1 at the end of that half. Things kind of fell apart. I think Providence maybe lost themselves a little bit, got away from what got him into such a tight game at halftime. But I think what we probably saw more than anything was Maranatha flexing its muscle a little bit, getting its offense and defense and rhythm going a little bit, and playing their type of basketball.
Well, at the end of the day, I think they just have more offensive weapons, too. More guys who are skilled and able to make plays for each other and for themselves. But not a bad effort. Providence Academy, they have a really good defense. They only given up 42 points. They were able to hold the Mustangs, who average 85 points, 12 points below that average. And that was my question, is just would they have enough scoring to be able to keep pace? And ultimately they fell a little bit short, but I thought they played really hard tonight.
All right, so there's your final. Maranatha wins 73-55. That's just one game here for us tonight on Channel 12. We'll be right back in a while for game number 2. But for Ryan Iverson and the entire crew here at Channel 12, I'm Joe Moline. We'll see you in a little bit.